My name is Ian Butler. I'm fighting Steve Calaza and Bellator 137, May 15th. May 15th, you're gonna see me giving my all, you know? My last fight, I kinda got away, and when I was like, man, I'm gonna go out there and destroy Johnny Faria, which, I mean, yeah, that should go through my head all the time, but when I do my best, it's like when I'm just gonna go out there and give it my heart and my all, you know? And that's exactly what I'm gonna do for this fight, you know? Like, I'm not changing anything. The only thing that changes is like my scenery, but my heart hasn't changed, my fighting style hasn't changed. Just got better training partners, better coaches, world-class coaches, because I'm gonna be a world-class guy, not only for this fight, but all the fights future to come. So May 15th is just a glimpse of what you're gonna see. It's just 5% of what you're gonna see. Like, not only through this fight, but throughout my whole career. I'm already a champion in life, so putting that belt around a title means nothing, but I still want that belt just to say I'm a champion in MMA, you know, so I can show everybody, you know, but you're gonna see it May 15th for sure.
My name is Juan Estrada. I am Ian Butler, boxing coach, head coach. I've been coaching for approximately 25 years. Ian, his abilities, he's a very humble kid. I think he can go a long ways in Bellator. With Ian, I've been working a lot of strength training, because most of the MMA fighters, I noticed that a lot of them are real tense and real tight. So my goal with Ian is to try to get him real flexy and be able to like be explosive. And he could do a lot of damage to a lot of guys because he's very strong. And I definitely think he could be a world champion. I feel sorry for the guy he's fighting, because if he feels the right hand, he's gonna get hurt.
What's up? I'm Chris Lieben. My official title is MMA Director here at Victory MMA and Fitness in San Diego. I'm Ian Butler's MMA coach. I'm blessed to have Ian here now training with us. Ian, obviously, you know, he's well known in Bellator. Great, talented kid. He's got an awesome story. Definitely one of the hardest workers on my team. So, you know, for me personally, you know, I've been putting a lot of time and energy into Ian and his training, because, you know, the kid is going places, he's driven, he's motivated, you know, and that's what I want to see. As far as my career as a coach, I want to have more guys like Ian, more guys that you don't have to tell them to get started, you don't have to tell them to get wrapped up, that are here on time and are ready to train. You know, it makes my job so much easier. One of Ian's biggest strength, I think, is his will to learn. He's not just an athlete, he really is a martial artist in the way that he's always trying to grow and always trying to progress. Really, really coachable fighter, which as a coach is very nice, because some guys are just so hard to work with, so hard to change their ways. You know, that being said, as far as his skills in the cage, you know, Ian is a hard hitter. He's a heavy hitter. He wants to bang with guys. You know, he likes to stalk his opponents, cut the cage off, and look to make him swing with them. You know, so he's got big hands. He's got a hard head. I would say standing up and banging, you know, his hands are probably his best attribute. That being said, you know, he's training MMA with me every day. He's also working on his ground with Dean Lister. So, you know, his learning curve has just been exponential. Since Ian's been here, you know, this is his second camp with us now. I mean, he's grown leaps and bounds, which is huge, which is what you want to see from a fighter. I don't necessarily need to have the best fighter right now, but I need to know that fighter is learning, progressing, and growing and moving forward. And Ian is definitely still blossoming into the fighter that he's gonna be.
My journey began, I mean, and the whole combat was wrestling, and I wrestled ever since I was little. I wrestled in middle school, and then eventually I went to St. Louis and wrestled collegiately in college. And then while I was in college, I found MMA. Man, I got redshirted in college, which is pretty much they put me on a bench, which I didn't like, and I'd never been benched in my life before. And went to MMA school to stay in shape, to do wrestling. Eventually got into jiu-jitsu, and then 6 months later, I was doing Muay Thai, and then a month after that, I was in my first fight.
Hello everyone, my name is Dean Lister. I'm the head coach here at Victory MMA in sunny San Diego, California. Been coaching Ian Butler, getting him ready for his big match coming up. Well, as a coach now, who was a fighter, maybe is still a fighter, who knows. You know, it's typical case that fighters usually are head cases in a good or a bad way. Usually it's both. Crazy and bad and a good way. That's why they're fighters. But he's real level-headed, and that's kind of rare nowadays to find. You know, a young guy his age be level-headed and it's such a positive outlook. I think it has a lot to do with like his life and his upbringing and what he's been through. And some hard situations, you know, can shape you into a better person if you let them do it and you respond to it in a certain way. We do study the opponent a little bit, of course, because we always respect our opponents. But man, it's really important to develop yourself over time as a fighter. And so I really try to work on the personal skills as an individual fighter, focus on my fighter's strengths, some things they need to work on, and not as much on the opponent and what he may or may not do. Concerning being on the right setting or the right path as a fighter, he definitely is. Unfortunately, when I was his age, there wasn't this type of opportunity, you know, to really travel, and the sport wasn't as big as it is today. It wasn't regulated, it wasn't so on forth. But as far as him being in the right place, I mean, in my opinion, and I've told Ian this, I mean, I prefer to invest in experiences, memories, and dreams rather than like material possessions. You know, so he's investing in his dreams and his memories. And his experiences right now, he's doing it. So he's definitely on the right path for sure. With left hook and spring for double leg. Ready? Snap, boot, load, and oh, that was good. Those are both good. Okay. Left hook, right cross, sit down. Ready? Yeah.
My name is Craig Baker. I'm one of the primary jiu-jitsu coaches, black belt coaches here at Victory MMA. I've been training under Dean Lister, James Nielsen, a bunch of other. We have about 10 black belts here. Awesome training. Competed quite a bit, but now I'm trying to get Ian ready for his fight. My style of jiu-jitsu really fits MMA. It really fits Ian, his heavy pressure game. I utilize a lot of concepts rather than in positions rather than specific submissions. So it really works well hand in hand with his jiu-jitsu style. Really trying to find that stride for people is probably one of the hardest things to do in life. And I think that the coolest thing about him coming out here is he's finding that stride. He's got a lot of great training partners out here. This is a positive gym, positive attitudes, positive people. And whatever I can do to help move that forward, you know, and help somebody out in that regard, I don't expect anything in exchange for it. It's really just trying to help a guy who's motivated. And it's hard to find somebody that motivated without getting caught up in the reality of life, getting caught up in, you know, all the other crap that people have to deal with and the struggles and the strides and everything like that. And the fact that he's been able to work through that is unbelievable in my perspective. It really shows some deep character. And so whatever we can do to, you know, help that is what we're here for.
Fight like it's your last chance you ever can. Be proud of it. Just be happy. Just fight it while you can do it. Because you can't do this very well when you're 60. You know? So don't put the pressure on yourself. Just actually enjoy the moment. You know? So enjoy the time. And as hard as it is to do.
I was born in St. Louis, raised in San Diego, and my mom, my biological mom, wasn't on drugs or anything. She just didn't financially know how to raise a kid. So there's all different type of homeless. There's people that do drugs, you know. It's like she wasn't that bad, but I got taken away from the government, man. Like living in cars and hopping to homeless shelters. A homeless shelter isn't an ideal way to raise a kid. So eventually I actually got adopted in that process. So I got taken away from my mom, got adopted. And from there, my adopted mom, I lived with her, and then straight on a bad path, and eventually got into drugs, died, came back to life, found wrestling again, found MMA. So my story is pretty crazy. So.